Welcome to Your Life Story, a space to explore the journey from survival to authenticity. I'm Sajine, and here we dive into the raw truths of breaking free from the expectations we've grown up with, rediscovering our voices, and thriving after life's challenges. But this isn't just about my story, it's about life, from relationships and self-discovery to the messy, beautiful questions we all face. No topic is off limits here, so if you're ready to embrace courage, healing, and living life on your own terms, you're in the right place. Let's connect. Let's grow. Welcome to the journey. Welcome. I am so happy that you are all here with me today. Just before we get started, a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only. I'm not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional, and the content shared here is based on the personal experiences and insights. If you're facing significant challenges, please seek the support of a qualified professional. Remember, your journey is unique, and you deserve the care and the guidance that's right for you. Well, today I bring a very important subject that came to me because I believe that we get blamed for everything. We get told that we didn't have enough emotional intelligence. We get told that we weren't street smart, that we were just so naive, that basically they're telling us that we were dumb. And how dare, we allowed somebody to take advantage of us. So if that's the case, then too bad. You need to just suck it up and keep going. I don't believe that's true. I really don't. And the reason why is because for the longest time, I had been put more guilt upon me that there was something wrong with me for what transpired in my life journey. And today, after my beautiful run, yes, I'm enjoying my run, and I encourage all of you out there, I'm not a professional, and I started my running journey, and it feels great. So if I can do it, you can do it. I know we can all do it. Spiritually, we can all say that we're all running together. And it'd be nice to hear if you also are running, so we can all share that journey with each other and see what we, think about, or how has it bettered ourselves. And I'm just really intrigued. But this is the topic that came to my mind. PTSD. You hear it everywhere. From the military, from children, from housewives that have gone through so much, or anybody who's gone through trauma. So my topic is, they said it was PTSD, but it was guilt tripping me into staying. This individual had told me from what they went through in their life that they believed they now had PTSD. And so in my heart, my little Christian heart, I thought I need to be there for them. Why? Because when you're loving and understanding, you're there through it all. And that is the sickest thing ever, to take advantage of somebody by saying that you have something when in actuality you have something else. Sinister. The thing is, we need to know that a lot of partners can become manipulative and use alleged PTSD, religion, or trauma to guilt empathetic people into staying. And how to break free, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about reclaiming your discernment and heal without shame. I want to welcome you all back to Your Life Story. I'm going to share about my life story, and I think it's important that we all have that opportunity to share that with ourselves, with our loved ones, and anybody who is safe and that we allow into our circle. We talk about healing, rising, reclaim our truths. You know, today's episode is deeply personal, and I know many of you have lived this too. The manipulation didn't always sound harsh. Sometimes it sounded like pain, like someone saying, I have PTSD or whatever they have. Please don't abandon me. I want you to hear that. That's what I heard every day for so many years. And that's why I stayed. And that's why I think I punished myself when I saw the red flags, because in my heart, I was like, but this person might has PTSD. I need to be there for them. And the reason why they act up is because of this. And I remember, and I should have ran. I'm telling you, this person begged me and said, please don't leave me. And I thought that was interesting. For a split second, I thought, oh, you better run. But then in my little, my empathetic Christian little heart, I thought, what an honor it is for somebody to be asking me for my presence, and so I will stay. But behind that pain was a pattern: guilt tripping, blame shifting, and emotional entrapment. I want you to see that because so many of us don't see it, and it destroys you. Empathy as a weapon. I remember now why I stayed so long. He told me his ex had betrayed him, that he survived a war, that PTSD made life harder for him. And I thought, who am I to leave someone who's hurting? But what I didn't know was this. Empaths often attract manipulators who prey on compassion. They are very astute when it comes to finding prey. I'm going to say it. They're like predators, and they're looking for their prey. And they see where your weakest link is at, and that's where they go. He wasn't getting help. He wasn't taking responsibility. He just knew how to say the right story to keep me feeling guilty. Mind you, I felt guilty growing up. I felt guilty around friends, so-called friends. I felt guilty in school. I felt guilty at work. You know, society teaches us guilt. It's ingrained in us, especially when we do our little test in school and we don't measure up, we feel guilt. Some people feel bad and they do better. Others just give up and say, I don't care. It's interesting. So the key points I want you to see in here is you can hold space for someone's pain without becoming the hostage of it. Exactly. That's how I felt, like a hostage. Mind you, I said that to this individual. I don't recommend it because they lose it. Trauma is real, but manipulation can still exist with someone's trauma. This is where it was hard. Spiritual manipulation, the Jesus card. And because I'm a believer, I was told things like, Jesus forgives everyone. Who are you not to? If you're a real Christian, you'll stay and help him heal. And the worst one, shame on you for giving up on someone God can redeem. Oh my gosh, that was brutal. I was told if Jesus could do it, who was I to voice my boundary? If Jesus could be abused for the honor and glory of God and would bring something better to this world, who was I? What they forget is I'm not Jesus. Jesus was the one who came to save humanity, not I. I am now here to help guide people, but also guide myself. I can't just guide people and then lose myself. It just doesn't work that way. Why? Because it's a team effort. But here's what I didn't know. Even Jesus had boundaries. Yes, indeed he does. Why? He can separate the earth and the water, the sky and space, the holy day, the Sabbath with the regular days. And then also he has boundaries of what we should eat, how we should dress, how we should speak, all these boundaries, right? And it's not boundaries to incarcerate us. It's because what better than the person who invented it, created it, and knows how everything works, why we shouldn't do it, right? That's a whole other topic. It's just what I'm talking about in this situation of Jesus had boundaries. He walked away from people who didn't want truth. Exactly. Why? Because there's a point where if the person does not want anything, then you give them what? Free will. Yes, you can. What is my podcast called? Your life story. Yes, you get to choose your life story. He didn't sit and let people throw stones just to prove he was kind. That one hurts. Because we get into martyrdom where we think if we are abused so much, but if we do it for God, that we will, I don't know, get a better crown when we go to heaven. A better what? Welcome home package? I don't know. Bigger house? It's not that way. You can love people from a distance and still honor God. I think that's important. When PTSD is used to justify bad behavior, PTSD is serious. But it's not a pass to hurt others, refuse therapy, or emotionally trap someone. He said he had trauma, but never got help. He used that trauma to excuse outbursts, controlling behavior, emotional neglect, guilt-tripping me for wanting space. And I started to internalize the idea that leaving him made me a bad person. And yeah, I did think about leaving many times. I'm not going to lie. But every time that guilt of, if you leave him, what are people going to say about you? What kind of Christian are you? But healing revealed the truth. Real pain doesn't demand a prisoner. No, it doesn't. We should be free. If they're in their own imprisonment, I don't think they should take you down with them. It's not okay. How you know you're being guilt-tripped? Let's get practical. If you're constantly hearing these phrases, beware. If you leave, I'll break down. No one else would love me the way you do. You're just like everyone else who gave up on me. I thought you were different. You're not a real Christian. The one that I always got told is, you're never going to find anyone else like me who puts up with you. Or even there was times even if I felt like leaving, he would pretend that he didn't even know I had left the home. He didn't care. He was like, oh, you left? I didn't even notice. It even hurt more. These aren't cries for help. They're tools to control your empathy. How I finally broke free. I had to realize my compassion wasn't the problem. His refusal to get help was. I prayed, I fasted, I asked God to fix it, but God was showing me the truth all along. Yes, he did. He actually got me to wake up. I read Luke 5, where Jesus walked away from a crowd to pray, and that's when it hit me. Even the Son of God protected his peace, so who was I to think I couldn't? I left. It was painful. I'm not going to lie, excruciating. But I finally felt peace after. That peace confirmed I was no longer sinning. By leaving, I was finally being free. What I'd tell anyone going through this now, if you're listening to this thinking, I don't know if it's real PTSD or manipulation, ask yourself, does this person take responsibility and seek real help? Or do they expect you to be the help? You're not bad for asking questions. You're not cruel for protecting your spirit. You're not better than Jesus, but even he said no to abuse and false accusations. I really do believe that is true. I remember the devil trying to tempt Jesus when he was out in the desert. And he even said, nuh-uh, you cannot tempt me. It was crazy how much pain he went through. And he was trying to show us the way on how to leave that type of situation. We don't get really taught that. I know that. We only get taught whatever is needed to keep us in line in church and giving. I'm not saying all churches. I know there's other churches that are wonderful and they take care of their beautiful congregation. Stay with that. Not many are that way. So here's 3 steps to reclaim your power. Name what's happening. I am not abandoning someone. I'm honoring my sanity. Why? It's like anything else. You can hurt yourself and then no longer exist, and that person's just going to latch onto someone else and start doing the same thing. You need to honor yourself. Life, you weren't made to be a host for someone. Reframe the guilt. God doesn't bless what breaks me. This is when, whatever you are, but if you're Christian, I want you to know you need to pray and you need to study the word and question. A lot of things that you've been taught and have gone through. This is your life story. This is your walk. And there's going to be good times, bad times, quiet times, anything in between. But there always will be an answer. And what I received actually woke me up. It's been an interesting few years of understanding how many lies I was told, not just by this person, but by society in whole. Not everyone, but the ones that were manipulative. And now that I find the truth, it's like being thrown in an ice bath with a whole bunch of ice cubes in it, and it just wakes you up. Reframe the guilt. Always see what people have and see how you feel. You need to choose education over shame. Learn about emotional intelligence, PTSD, narcissistic tactics, and boundaries. What school didn't teach you, life will. This is so important, especially when I was learning about emotional intelligence. It is amazing the things they have in there. Boundaries. I'm learning about, how to recover your nervous system after going through all of this. And it's amazing the things that you can learn to get back to normal. And as I go through it, I'll be happy to share it along so then you know that you can be healed. So don't be guilted for being told, why didn't you leave? That would have happened to me. I would have left. No, you wouldn't, because a lot of them aren't in that situation. They're just trying to make you feel like poop. And they want to sound like they're better. Nobody knows until they are in your shoes how it is to try to get out. Yeah, everybody can learn better. Why not? It's life. We all go through different stages. We don't know everything all at once. That's why there's books, audios, podcasts, anything out there for you to learn. And you shouldn't be guilted for knowing everything all at once. It's just impossible to have all that knowledge in one swoop. So to everyone who's been guilted for choosing themselves, you're not the villain. You're not the one who broke the cycle. Oh, sorry. You're the one who broke the cycle. You get to love people without letting them destroy you. And if they truly had your best interest at heart, they wouldn't weaponize their wounds against your peace. I want you to hear that again. If they truly had your best interest at heart, they wouldn't weaponize their wounds against your peace. If you want more, please go binge the past episodes of Your Life Story. And if this helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. You're allowed to walk away and still be full of love. I really believe it's important to protect your peace and live your truth. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Your Life Story with Sajine. I hope it gave you something to think about, feel, or explore on your journey. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share it with someone who might need it or reach out to contact. Until next time, this is Sajine.